Special episode of Silver Screen. This week we're going to be marking the 50th anniversary of Star Trek with three people, more than the normal one that I interviewed, but we're only going to be looking at the movies because it's a Silver Screen episode, but we will be looking at various other things as we mentioned them. So just to go round the room, it's this is James Brooksbank. Hello. The fabulous Chase Johnson-Lynch.
I'm so fabulous.
And a marvellous Merv Jones. And of course me, Jamie Bixby.
Oh, as long as you don't call him Notorious, he'll be fine.
Yeah. That's it.
No.
Because we're referring to you as fabulous, can we just call you Zulu?
Oh my. Anywho, moving on. Right, okay. Okay, so anyway, I think a good place to start would be, well, actually begin. But with Star Trek the most.
Well, we're talking about the cinematic. We're talking about the cinematic Star Trek universe.
That's right. Yeah.
We're only talking about the original 6 because that is the matter of canon. It's your Shatner love.
So is
I love Shatner, yeah. And,
but I mean, but you have a Facebook thing where you're talking about like Shatner and you're comparing them, and then reason why I said Notorious about Merv is because you guys kind of go at it head to head a lot.
But it's with affection, you know.
But hopefully we can all agree that the first 6 is good. Yeah.
Okay, so
let's 6 are okay. Like, I mean, there were 3 really good ones, and then there's kind of 3. Well, I could sleep through this at least.
No, I think Star Trek. Well, we'll come to that in a second. But okay, so 1978, Paramount have cancelled Gene Roddenberry's Phase 2 TV series, and in the meantime, they've also turned down Star Wars, and also buying into the merchandise rights for the Star Wars action figures, which they lost billions. So, in a mad panic at the Paramount offices, they're saying, you know, we've got to get a franchise with either with Star in the title or which is sci-fi. At some point, someone says, you know, we kind of this franchise called Star Trek. So it gets reformatted Phase 2 and it gets put into film.
Well, didn't they do the cartoon series first?
The cartoon
series. That was a fair few years before, but that was kind of Paramount. That only lasted 13 episodes, and although it was popular, in fact, it even won an Emmy. But the fact of the matter is, Paramount had no real sense of value when it came to Star Trek at that time, beyond the fact that it was a nice little kind of money earner via the reruns of the 70s. I mean, 2 of us on this panel are of the age who are that generation who grew up on the reruns.
Yeah.
We were there for we weren't there for the initial run. But that first run, and we get to see it in colour and things like that. Wow,
big
you know. Man. So, come that big announcement.
Yeah, that
and you've also got to put it in perspective as well that in this country at least, Star Trek right through. I mean, the TV show right through to the mid 80s was still being shown on prime time. BBC. Yeah. BBC One would show it at like 7 o'clock on a weekday, and it would still get good view figures. Those original 78, 79 episodes. Yeah. You know, so and it was big. I remember it was big in our house.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
So the answer comes on that Robert Wise is going to direct, and it's suddenly Star Trek is this big, huge franchise, billboard film now. So can I ask you, what was your expectations being around at the time? What was your expectations going in? Was it just excitement or?
Well, what I was going to say is a really good question is that this was called Star Trek the Motion Picture, and the reason why was because it was a TV show on the big screen, and I don't think that's ever happened at that time before. Well, I think this is one of the first times.
Put it this way, for a US show, it's very rare.
Definitely.
Very rare. I mean, we had like Batman.
But that was while Batman was running, wasn't it? That was
but apart from that, in the UK, we had like a tradition through the 70s, unfortunately, of these god awful, you'd have these
the Incredible Hulk movie.
No. Prior to that, we had a lot of like UK sitcoms. Okay. They had a movie version with the entire. We had lots of those. some of
Rush
these were
movies?
on the buses. The first On the Buses movie was the biggest box office hit of '71.
Knocked Diamonds Are Forever.
Knocked Diamonds Are Forever off the number one.
Did Dad's Army also?
Dad's Army. Together
good
Dupart had
movie.
2 movies.
Really?
You know? Oh yeah, we had quite a few of these, but it was quite rare for. I mean, these were these low budget quickie things that they did. So for Star Trek, which was a cheap show, it was a cheap show.
Mhm.
To have this kind of like, we're spending serious money on this, and we're going to. It's like giving everything like a sheen.
Yeah.
And Robert Wise, wow. You
Yeah.
know, how did
Did
they
the
get
haunting
him? Blah blah
and all
blah.
that.
So come the announcement. I mean, wow. I mean, I mean, speaking just for me, I was just excited because Star Trek was coming back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it didn't matter what format it was.
And you're
whether
going
it
to
was
see
the
on
movies,
the
it wasn't whether it was the movies.
Ah.
Plus, post Star Wars, I mean, if it was sci-fi, we saw it.
Yeah, but also too is you got to remember that like now for me I was watching Star Trek every other day. You know what I mean? So when the motion picture was announced, it was kind of like I'm still used to young Kirk. You know, sleeping with the green women and fighting this fight. You know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then so on the big screen, it's like these guys are kind of old. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think this would be one of the disappointments of the motion picture, but I was dead excited.
Can I ask you, Dan, when did you first see it, James? Did you see it when it came out?
My dad was a big Star Trek fan. He had all of them on video, and when I was old enough to be able to turn the video recorder, I started watching stuff. But I'll be honest, with Star Trek 1, it was for some reason it never gelled with me. I always skipped Star Trek 1. I always just watched them all in order, but I always skipped 1 and watched it from Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
And I mean, Wrath of Khan was a lot more of
Well,
a bigger impact to us, but it was. I mean, with the motion picture one, it wasn't until I saw Next Generation and I learned about the Borg and kind of like I got into that when I started rewatching it and started taking in a little bit more about what. You know, I was always enthralled by is this the creation of the Borg, or is this the machine planet where the Borg came from, is that who converted Egypt? So I was more interested in the universe building, the possibilities.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, without jumping ahead, that kind of thing didn't really start until the third movie.
Because also then let me talk about the whole computer bit because like this is 1980, right?
79.
It's even worse. So like the whole point was in 79 I had to go to summer school, right? And like they had a big wall-sized computer. You know, and I never seen it before. You know what I mean? I had a Commodore 64, right? So, I mean, for a movie like Star Trek, and, you know, the AI going out of control, becoming inhuman, and, you know, and all that was interesting to me because I was into comics, I was into sci-fi and all that. So, we were seeing something that was revolutionary, but it was so slow at the time.
Oh, it was good.
But it was I'm saying it's slow in looking back. I think if we look at this from our first perspective of looking at it. So in our first perspective of looking at that film, I was like enthralled.
But the interesting thing about that whole thing is Vija wasn't the Vija technology underneath it was our own machinations. It was our own technology that got sent out and sent back, and it was our own coding. It was our own programming that was causing all the trouble that was being caused. So it was our own problem. We were the ones who caused
our own
it.
confusion.
As a film,
confusion.
And I mean, you know, you learn later on about like the behind the scenes stories and the problems that they had with it, etc. And the fact that it wasn't rushed per se, but the actual post production was rushed. And the problem I had with it was the fact that it relied too much on spectacle over narrative and actual content itself. So you know, you could trim a good 20-odd minutes out of that.
The warp scene. That when they first go to warp.
When they leave the space dock.
It turns into a Doctor Strange-esque kind of like trippy. Let's take acid and go really fast in the car kind of thing.
But also, I mean, I remember I actually had the comic book adaptation before I saw it, so spoiler. So I watched it, and once again, it's one of those classic examples, and it happens a lot, where it's based on a script, not the actual finished product. So there was stuff in it that was cut from the movie that I subsequently saw at later extended versions of it.
Yeah.
So. You know, and I remember reading that, and it's just not. And actually, the comic book was far more exciting than the movie itself.
Oh yeah, obviously.
The pacing was this, that, and the other, and it just, like you said, you know, you can only stand so many times. You could watching scenes of actors going, looking out of the viewer, the front viewer or whatever, like that. Oh my God, what is that? And then Spock saying, "Oh, it's like power on Earth that's never been like it before."
Yeah.
What's over there? And it was like every other scene. And I go, okay.
Gene Siskel said that normally he comes out of a movie whistling a theme tune.
Yeah.
He was whistling at Jordan because it had gone on for so long. And he was waiting. What went the next leitmotif? So anyway, if we could just move ahead slightly.
Yeah, but what's sorry, one last little part on that. If it gave us anything though, it's Jerry Goldsmith's score.
Oh yeah,
is flawless. Which you wouldn't expect that from Jerry, but it is.
It was like listening to an orchestra and watching the visuals for it.
And the 2001 cut is better.
I'd agree with that.
Is better. It's just okay. It is better.
Deflection it does enhance it. I found.
It has. It's actually shorter. It's
Wow,
shorter. It
there you
enhances.
go.
There are two different cuts. There was a TV version that was released.
Yeah.
In the early 80s on home, it was shown in American TV, and it was shown on it was actually a home video, and you could get that cut for a few years. But then in 2001, they went in, they fixed, finalized effects that were never finished, and blah 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 blah. And it is grander in that scale, and it looks really great. But the pacing is slightly quicker, and it is actually slightly shorter as a result, and it's better. It's far from perfect.
Yeah.
Far
Well. Before you move on, Persis Kambata.
Oh right,
yeah.
You know the actress who went the distance. First time naturally shaved her head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that way she had that much more alien look to her. And what's the guy from Gold Tale of the Gold Monkey?
Stephen Collins.
Stephen Collins.
I mean, so it was the first time, and they seem to keep repeating this theme where Captain Kirk had this father-son dynamic with these characters.
They liked putting in Kirk and his father-son dynamic.
You know what I mean? But you get what I mean, right? There's always a Kirk and father dynamic in the movie.
Well,
and so this is the first
kid.
one. This is the first one where it's like, I can run this, like the Master Commander kind of philosophy thing. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That
too.
kind of we could jump ahead now to Star Trek 2.
Tom!
Well,
yeah, so 1982.
Well,
of course,
no.
reflecting on what you've just been saying there about the father-son dynamic and stuff like that, I always think people get it wrong. They say that Rutherford's about revenge or about death. It's not. It's about obsession. It's about enabling. It's about friendship too between with Kirk and Spock. And
I don't know. Exactly. I mean, I think it's a film about inevitability, and trying to hide from that and running from that, and it's like, I mean, Kirk's hubris is shown in the movie where it's like, mate, you are not invincible.
Cockiness, yeah.
You are not invincible, and you will pay a price. Eventually, we all pay a price. And this one's a big one.
Yeah,
but that's not, I always get away with it.
Let's just look back a second. Despite opening the biggest opening for a weekend Star Trek the Motion Picture at the time, Paramount were upset with the grosses of Star Trek the Motion Picture because it cost a lot more.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2 comes in with Harv Bennett, who's a TV producer, and he's got 11 million to make the movie motion picture at 46 million. And it's basically just go and make. And no big directors wanted to do it. Robert Wise didn't want to do another one and stuff. Nicholas Meyer, who'd done Time After Time, and he wrote The Seventh Resolution. He came and a lot of the Trekkers were like, what the hell's going on here? Kind of with Justin Lin, although...
well, I don't know. I don't think you can compare Justin Lin with...
I mean, the reaction to...
So did Harv Bennett have a relationship with Ricardo or something?
Well, he was the head of Paramount TV, and he was known for being able to getting things done on time.
Yeah, but was it Fantasy Island the Paramount show?
I think
it was. Yes, it was.
It produced his big success was The Magician with Bill.
Well,
Bixby.
yeah. But I'm only just indicating that, like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I could give Ricardo. And isn't that interesting that Ricardo was actually on an episode? Space Seed. So I think somebody thought this would be really interesting and cool. If we're going to do this again, let's really do a nod back to the original series.
Well, what he said was, Alf Bennett, he'd never watched the programme when it went out, or the motion picture, but he went into Paramount's screening room, watched every episode, and Space Seed was the one that
just left out.
He's like, I've got to see the conclusion to this. Ricardo Montalban was a big star to have in Fantasy Island. And then he put it in.
Probably was. He was also on Escape from Planet of the Apes, my friend.
Yeah, he was like one of those forever guest stars.
Yeah.
in various shows over the years. He was
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like
yeah.
the big guest
He-
star.
yeah,
Yeah, but
he
he's
never-
always he was a good actor.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah.
really,
Really? Yeah, it's fantastic. So anyway, so
Bit hammy, but yeah.
what was your opinion? What is your
2 was devastating.
Right.
2 was for 2 reasons.
Devastatingly good?
It's devastatingly good, and I would argue that it is quite simply the single best moment of Star Trek
Oh, yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Whether it's TV, movie, that is, if I want to, want to hold up a piece of Star Trek, it's just that I think is actually genuinely a great piece of whatever what they call it.
And
I
great
don't know
sci-fi
what
too, I think.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2 is it for me. But at the same time, I remember me and my friend Rob Allen. Hi Rob. We came out of that, and we were kind of like quiet, as was everybody, because Mr. Spock's dead. Oh my God, Mr. Spock is dead. And in those days, there was no clear conclusion. He was dead. Yeah, he was dead. We knew that there may be other movies, but Spock wouldn't be in them. But it's like, how can Star Trek be carry on without Spock? It's
Only
like,
we had a cache of money.
not even that really. Well, no, but at the actual impact, you come out of like, and it was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
'Cause
see what you're saying.
fortunately,
Even though
that
we
was
saw it at
cushioned
the
by
end.
the fact that how the movie itself
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect.
And the
But
Scottish
it's
pipes.
but it's just
It makes the best out of what it's got, doesn't it, Star Trek?
Oh,
So-
yeah,
so
that
it's,
was-
okay, we've got to
You know,
do this.
dude,
but
well, you brought me down. Why'd you jump to the end first? You know, because that was a heart dropping moment with the pipes and the shooting it out of the Jeffries tube and you know.
But they also
and it was a missile, so it was supposed to have like exploded, but it just landed.
But there was a great
safely.
misdirection as well, because this is the era of pre-internet and pre-spoilers and all that kind of stuff.
the misdirect, yeah.
You know, the opening sequence where they're doing the Kobayashi Maru test,
Yeah.
and the entire crew are killed off, and you think, oh, what's going on here? And you think, and then of course it's like, nah, it's only a test, and you think, oh right, okay, because then you completely forget. You completely forget, because you think, oh, so maybe it wasn't true.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't true, and then there's this, and then you get a real sense of, oh my God, it's actually, oh wait,
He's not coming back.
he's not coming back. Oh my God.
Has anyone found it difficult to watch that since Leonard Nimoy passed on? Because
No.
I've
What?
personally found it kind of knowing that there's a whole universe without Leonard Nimoy in it since he passed on.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
if you're going to say that, then in about 40 years' time, I'm never going to watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't mean not watch
I
it.
understand what you. I understand what you mean.
You
You
say,
are
oh,
watching
well,
an
I'm
actor have a
watching-
death, but name me one actor that doesn't have a death scene. Does that mean we can't watch? You know, I can never watch Heat again because when De Niro dies.
I can't watch Godfather again because of the way.
Because Brando drops dead in that, so when he's dead.
No, I mean that's one of the
I've got
best.
no problem with that,
That's
so
one of the
keep it.
best things about being.
It wasn't a
Wait,
problem,
wait.
it was like-
That's one of the best things about being an actor is the fact that you can do a piece of work that will be immortalized.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Or
you can
better or
always
worse.
see that person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the bad things, but you're still carrying on like a Robert De Niro, you know, in these crappy movies he's doing. Where it's like you can look back at, oh man, that's the heyday. You know what I mean? And that's just amazing.
So, you know, I understand. I do understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying I don't watch it, just it gets me more.
It took me a long time
So
to
anyway,
watch
anyway.
To be fair, it took me a long time to watch a Superman movie after Christopher Reeve had his accident.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's different. That's completely
Although
different.
my sense of humour really got me through that because there was a really good joke at the time.
Yeah, it was a great job and another great one. We won't go into
We're
that
not going
this time.
So
What's
anyway,
the
let's
Superman
wait.
for
Let's
the
go
first?
back.
That's
Let's go back to the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
two, yeah, well.
what's the black guy's name? Paul
Winfield.
Paul Winfield. My God,
Name me a movie where he didn't get killed.
Sounder. He killed the dog. But like the
Cliffhanger. He doesn't die in
Is
that.
that
Yeah.
the,
White dog.
the other captain?
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah,
the
yeah, but that, yeah, but that,
Terrell.
Kills
yeah, but
himself.
Of
yeah,
the
but
Reliant.
this is what I'm gonna say, right? Like, so Khan, great movie, but like that whole setup of like being on SETI Alpha 5 as opposed to 6, and Terrell not wanting to kill the captain that he doesn't know, and the bad crying acting. That was like kind of like being shot and having a really long death scene to die, you know?
Mhm.
And even Chekhov, who wasn't actually a great actor in the first place, but it was just bad, you know?
See, I've got, when
I
I
don't have a
first,
problem with the actor
when I-
crying
yeah.
after himself.
it was just excruciating.
when I first saw Wrath of Khan, I must have been, I think I was like 9. And the thing I always remember from Wrath of Khan above anything else, above Khan and Spock dying. It's the putting the things
Yeah.
in the ears.
Yeah.
And ever since
That was the
film,
schoolyard
I
thing.
have always been,
Well,
you know, I have
Here's
always
a little thing.
It was
And I've
actually
always
in
messed
the
it up.
UK. That sequence was cut. That was
Yeah.
trimmed
Not
for
on-
many
not on the
many
version.
years.
Why? Because they didn't want people to be putting stuff in.
Exactly.
it.
Well, yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, now for many years on home video when they were re-released, I was working in a video store at the time, and in 1991, jumping the gun, they actually reinserted it in. They gave it a 15 certificate in this country
And
because I mean now it's actually got a 12. Now it's got a 12 certificate, but
That's quite a jump after the first one's a U, isn't it? It's
yeah.
But the whole Wrath of Khan for me, it's not my favourite of the six. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
But it's the first time I kind of like got the whole impact of it, sort of like a brother and son kind of like
Yeah.
bond, and it was the first time that I when I grew up a bit and started enjoying movies on a different level. It was the first time I actually saw William Shatner as something other than a ham.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
It's the first
He's
time.
terrific in it.
There was something in it where you kind of like he took you away, and you kind of like beforehand. And they built it up. He cocky. He was never kind. I was into Next Generation at that point.
Yeah.
And Picard is my captain.
Yeah.
I would
Mm.
never serve on the same ship as Kirk because he'd get me in trouble.
No, yeah.
Picard would always. So I was always watching that, but it was in Wrath of Khan where it was the first time I kind of like went. I could kind of understand sort of like where things.
Well, also you got to remember that at this time he was doing T.J. Hooker, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So and he had his hair permed for the role for some reason.
yeah.
From the difference from the first movie to this
If
one.
you're going to be
But-
criticising haircuts in the Star Trek universe, then this conversation is going to go on for
No.
hours.
I'm only pointing that out. Anyway, let's get to the wife, mother of this child, and his son with the worst perm hair ever.
It was 80, to be fair, it was 82.
That hairdresser was earning their wages when they were.
there's
in
him,
there.
Willie.
So anyway,
the
the
old
Genesis device, which they
Genesis-
ended up using throughout the series.
The three film arc and everything.
Yeah. So I mean, so we got the Marcus, we got them like trying to steal a thing. But what I liked about it, so it became sort of a heist movie. But what I liked was one of the best things about Star Trek were the dogfights in space. And I can't remember. I was trying to remember what that episode was that was all dogfight in the original series. But
Oh yeah, I
you
know.
know, it was like something about
It
battle.
was the
something like-
war. It was the war games element behind it.
Yeah. But it was
Well,
amazing
that's-
because it was utilizing the new
Yeah.
technology of effects. But when they're moving in and out of that cloud,
It's
and
a World War II submarine movie.
Yeah.
And that was Nicholas Myers. Nicholas Myers kind of that was his.
Hornblower in space.
That was
There you
Nicholas
go,
Myers.
Hornblower, yeah.
Well, less Hornblower because that's further back. That's further back.
Although the costumes not.
No, what I'm saying is he actually said, well, look, I want to have this like a naval story.
Yeah.
I mean, Gene Roddenberry hated that idea because he thought we should
Well,
be
he
above
wanted to be
that.
white
He said, but the
trained,
fact of the
right?
matter is,
This is naval battles.
it's a naval battle. It's a World War II battle. You got an Allied sub and a German sub like that, and they're playing cat and mouse
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm trying desperately to think of it. There's a movie that I'm trying to think of. It's really
Hunt for
Hunt
Red
for Red
October.
no. Going
Oh,
further
Periscope.
back. No, up
Periscope.
No.
Crimson Tide.
No.
From the
Where's
British
Steve?
You
That's
guys
Kurt Jurgen, for Christ's sakes.
Oh,
It's referenced in Crimson Tide. There's an argument
Yeah,
in it,
okay.
But there's that movie. It's going to bug me now. But anyway,
don't waste time.
The submarine, the submarine of
Somebody sub.
Why you love me?
Leave.
Point.
But what I'm trying to make is that there's moments there where not an awful lot's actually happening, but you're on the edge of your seat, and they're creeping up against it, and one's here and one's there, and they're going to see each other, and then Kirk manages to get the idea of actually working around them, and then turning up, and then gotcha. Boom. And that's great, and that's really great. And
And he's waiting for the shields to be taken down, and he's got the glass. He's going, Khan, right? He was hamming it up. Eric was
What I'm going to
totally
remember is
hamming it
that Khan, Lance Albarn and Shatner were never in the same room together when they were filming.
No.
And they kept, Shatner's kept the thing moving.
in
because,
fact,
you know,
the Reliant set is a redressing of the Enterprise.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, with just brighter lights.
Yeah.
And they move the door from there to there. You think, that's another ship. It's another
Yeah,
ship.
yeah,
But that's the beauty of having no money. essentially,
Yeah.
and it creates creativity.
Okay.
None better than the dish deserve.
But also, and once again, I'm going to bring up the music again. James Horner, who it's a great score. It's a reworking of he was. I'm sorry, man. I appreciate you dead and whatnot, but it's a reworking of his Battle Beyond the Stars score.
Battle
but it
Beyond the
works.
Stars.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Oh yeah.
But it's a reworking of that, and
Space.
because he, although he technically, as somebody else pointed out, you can't plagiarize yourself. But he just, I'm not saying he's lazy or anything, but he only has so many ideas. But the point is that it is a great score. It's still a great score, and it's a bombastic score as well.
It fits totally. You got it exactly right,
Absolutely.
exactly where you need it to go. Even the bagpipes at the end weren't half as irritating as you do.
No, it's heart wrenching. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be very 80s, if you know what I mean. Like they're like something.
Well, it's 90s.
Well, the thing is,
No, 82.
82.
a good sci-fi movie. A good sci-fi movie should be able. You should be able to watch a good sci-fi movie and believe that it could have happened. I mean, Star Trek, Star Wars, Planet of the Apes. You watch them, and they're so far in the future that it could, you could still hold up disbelief. Minority Report. It's a little bit. You kind of like look at that now. You're kind of going, that does fit into the generation where it was. But I think a good sci-fi movie.
But all science fiction, whether it's written or filmed or whatever, is in what's it, inevitable that it will reflect the time that it was actually made. I mean, you could pick it apart. You could pick things like hair. We've already mentioned haircuts.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars. You watched Mark Hamill's haircut in '77. That's straight out of '77.
Yeah.
But and there's little things. There's little things that do bug me, but it's more in terms of two. I did mention it, that have always bugged me. That are a reflection of the times, like the insistence of having machines that shoot lights for no apparent reason. Yeah. I've never quite got, even at the time, I never quite got the idea of you walk around a bank of monitors that are flashing for no real apparent reason.
That's why I
they don't
indicator on when I'm driving, just to give me that start.
I like it when Spock looks into the moviola and they got the light shining.
I always wanted to know, what the hell's he looking at? And there's this little blue light.
No smoking sign?
Is it kind of what the butler saw sort of thing?
Well, no, what about the tricorder that they go...
but even so, I mean,
the horror's fan.
I just think, as I say, I'll stand by what I say. I think it is not only is it the best of the movies, but it's the best Star Trek.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think, well, moving on, so 84, Leonard Nimoy now assumes his place.
Well, he gets a big bag of money.
Well, he gets a big bag of money, but he also one of the stipulations in his contract is that he could direct. And of course, it was when it was first conceived, Spock wasn't going to be in it, was he? He was
He wasn't until the last 5 seconds.
He was never
against it.
He was never against coming back, and this is what like a popular myth that we hate Star Trek or this, and that wasn't the case at all. He just thought,
he was like, what?
Yeah.
But
I'll come back if they give me enough money.
And direct.
Which is exactly what
Well, I mean, I can understand someone coming back because he's played the part now for like close to 20 years in 84, and he says, I know how it should be played. I don't want someone coming in and telling me it's the wrong way. I need to.
Basically, the Klingons that we now
exactly.
know.
Yeah, because there was 2 types of Klingons. There was like the dark skin,
originally
Klingons.
there was only one type of Klingon.
No, I know, but then they've invented in this movie. They invented the buggy.
And I love the way that they deal with that in like later on in the TV show.
Yeah.
They say things like, we don't talk about it.
Which
I think was
don't
talk
about it. They didn't need to do what they did in Enterprise. They didn't need to kind of like go into the whole genetic.
Yeah.
I actually, like I say, I really enjoy it, and it's probably the one I watched the most on video, to be honest with you, at the time.
I thought Savick was fitter.
Well. There's also the thing. Kirstie Alley, I think got taxi.
No, she got cheers.
Cheers.
She basically got a bit too expensive.
Yeah.
So
and so she got replaced by Robert Douglas.
And plus having a movie
with
like
a perm
face set up, she would have just gorged herself and turned fat.
Yeah.
We hear it.
And then also too is that it's like
are in no way, shape, or reflective of any of us here.
That's why I'm against.
Also too is that to regain his friend, he loses his son.
Yes.
He does. And what a loss.
I know it's not a big loss, but it's a loss for a man who has a son.
I remember watching it, being in the cinema and watching that bit, and I thought, did that actually happen? Oh my God! I didn't expect him to die.
I can't for the life of me, and I get emotional quite a lot of time, but I can't imagine that the connection between Kirk and his son would have grown to such a point that I mean, in Star Trek 2, he met his son for the very first time.
Yeah.
Never did it.
And then they went, and the son went off on a journey with Savick.
But once you know, though, but once you know, I mean, as a parent myself, you know. You know.
If
an adult man walked in here and said, "Hey, Murphy, I'm your son," I'll be like, "Well, first of all, prove it." But then, secondly, once that's established, then that's it. That is it. So I mean,
okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's that really. You know,
I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is my dog, and I would
don't
care.
compare. That's a big pet. No pun intended. That's a pet. People say my dog died. He was like my child.
Anyway, so the whole planet breaking apart, you know, and then like Kirk going down to get Spock and stuff like that was amazing, you know. I mean, that was a great heightened action sequence with nothing happening. It was just like Kirk in a body because it wasn't even Spock. It was just like, but it was very emotionally torn. I mean, that was a great.
It's
scene.
funny that it should be Bones. You know what I mean? That's like
It's Katra.
Yeah,
He's Katra.
And they hate one another, or do they? You know.
Yeah. But what did you guys think about like Spock's version's debrief or whatever his scene with the punk bar?
The hot sex action, you know.
Well, the hot finger sex action.
They've cut something because, as far as I was aware in Vulcan culture, they have to get past the panfar in only one way. Isn't there only one way? I mean,
yeah, they had to touch fingers.
I mean, in fact, based on what I saw in Voyager and Deep Space Nine, that is a little bit more explicit than kind of like.
Well, you've seen the actress in Voyager?
Actually, Star Trek 3 also has one of my favourite sequences of the entire kind of movie series, and that's the stealing of the Enterprise, which I think. Once again, James Horner's music. James Horner's music really is like the cherry on top of that cake. But once again, what are we watching? We're watching two giant things moving quite slowly out of a room, essentially. How is that exciting? Well, it's just really put together.
I think but it's another heist as well. So I think that it's the second heist film in a row, and I mean it was still good. I mean they never did any heists in the original series because they just did a lot of planet investigations and stuff like that. So for a film that doesn't do what it,
but there's no consequence. But there was also in the original series compared to the movies, there's no consequence. You have an adventure. You can watch You can pretty much watch that entire series in any order you like, and it really wouldn't matter to that degree, other than the fact that probably the sideburns grow a little bit longer.
You do have Kirk starting as Admiral, then he gets demoted.
But in the movies, but in the movies itself, particularly from two onwards, there's consequence. There's consequence. There's reference.
But it was funny. It was funny though.
They're not completely standalone.
Yeah, they
you know, and that's no bad thing in the long run.
It was funny though. That was a great after moment where like to make you pay for going and getting this man, you know, you're gonna be a captain, and now you're gonna be forced to go on a 5-year journey
on your favorite ship.
On your favorite ship that has been repaired.
Ahead of ourselves. I mean, and of course, and once again, for the first time, they've given everybody else at least a moment, really to shine. Whether whether it's a small moment where you've got, Scotty. I love that line where Scotty goes into the lift elevator. And there's like a voice on it.
No, he goes, computer. Wait, voyage home.
Wrong move. And then it says like, which floor? And he goes like, to the deck. And he goes, thank you. And he goes, fuck this shaft. A real kind of little sort of like.
Do you know what I find amusing is that the first one that Leonard Nimoy directed, that's the first one where you saw them practically in their own clothes. That's like when a relief teacher comes in or something.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to wear a uniform.
Yeah, but wait. You also should say that that first one where everybody else gets something to do, because that was I mean at this point we had to say, you know, George Takei and Shatner's rivalry was really headstrong. And everything. That's why Takei got his own ship. You know what I mean?
And then
but he was scared. But second movie. But
no, what I'm trying to say is that Leonard Nimoy, as the director, was able to make sure that everybody got bits to do, and it wasn't just about Kirk. There was nobody coming in to just say, "Let's shine on you." I'm going to shine a light on everyone. But I think that was just important to say.
Apparently Shatner at first was a bit combative, but then he realised Leonard Nimoy was actually ideal for for what he wanted from performances, and he was like, actually, you know. That was the.
But also, I mean, as an actor directing other actors, I mean, one of the things that you have to do is a lot of ego stroking, and he knows exactly what buttons to press with the likes of Shatner, who can be a bit. How can I put this charitably?
Difficult.
Self-aware. We'll call it self-aware. And so, you know, and it's one of those things where you say to somebody, well, I want this from this thing. Well, what about this? That's a really good idea. I think you definitely should do that.
Yeah.
And it's, oh, well, there you go. You must want that. You know, I personally though think for a first movie to do a big sci-fi effects-driven I would be pissing my pants with fear as to how on earth am I going to pull this off.
Yeah, but he knew he had a good team around him, and
Yeah.
he knew the other director did. So
Can I-
anyway, still moving forward.
I mean, just my final point on it, I think with Star Trek 3, what hit me about as a kid is Star Trek 1 was very deep and very theological and very deep in the Star Trek.
Oh, not
mythos,
theological,
all the
but
stuff
that's
that, all the stuff that, yeah, but it was dealing with life. What defines life?
yeah.
What do you find? What's it when an android? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The second one was very much about pathos. It had this kind of like deep scariness that kind of
Facing
hit
death
to it.
as well, yeah.
And they were both of those two had really strong emotional beats, but there wasn't that much of a kind of like a more farcical nature. Whereas Star Trek 3 was the first one I can remember as a kid having that, and in that moment when they're taking over the Enterprise, it's almost like a 1950s, 40s silent movie era kind of like farce when they're trying to get on. There's like a horn soundtrack going in the background where it's like, you know, it's a little bit more upbeat, and they kind of they're doing Scotty sabotaging the engine. So there's something there as a kid I could watch that and kind of like that was a little. It's like you watch if you're watching Finding Nemo or a Pixar movie with kids. It's all about the kids stuff, but all the time there's something underneath it.
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
adults.
There's an
And it's
undercurrent. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was
yeah.
almost the opposite. It's the opposite to that. It's very much. I think it's very much for the adults, but for the kids who can get through that, there is something
I
there.
remember really, of 3 of really liking the ending as well, because although some might argue that, oh, slightly anticlimactic, it's just two guys lying down, what I like is the fact that they do achieve what they set out to do, but it was a real sense of, we did get through it, and I'm too knackered to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know,
And we're stuck on Vulcan.
Yeah, we're stuck on. And also, and it can't be stressed enough, ILM's work on 2 and 3
Absolutely.
and 4 is nothing short of stunning, and they really, for the work on Star Trek, it really doesn't get enough credit compared to the other stuff that they were doing at the same time beyond just Star Wars. But I mean, 3 has my favourite effects shot in 3 is the landing of the bird of prey on Vulcan. It's seamless. And don't forget, this is still in an era of photochemical, compositing and stuff. And big old models
Coming out of clothes.
You know,
I like the way the wings kind of on the bird of prey.
which was Leonard Nimoy's idea that they should come
Yeah,
down.
but also
it's one
it
of the
was a
greatest
ship that could
designs as
land.
well.
It was a ship that could land, and the Enterprise is not
Well,
a
yeah,
ship that
but
can
in
land.
terms of the actual shots itself, and you know, and the design of the bird of prey, as I was saying, it's one of my absolute favourite designs of any spaceship in a movie ever.
Yeah.
You know.
Before we move on from the 3, can anyone do an impression of that alien who says Genesis?
Genesis!
There you go, thanks. I was expecting you to
Planet forbidden! I told you, I did the chong choo. I did that
Did you
one.
see it?
That was good.
That was fabulous as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think-
And I was fuming as well because once again, you know how you think you remember something and you might be wrong or whatever, but you know you're right. There's a continuity error. It comes earlier in the movie. It's when the Klingon spy is on the smuggler's ship and she has all the Genesis sort of thing. And if you watch, she walks up, and you kind of get slight of a bit of a cleavage shot, you know, and going on. But you can see like a leather thing hanging down. But then you cut to a wide shot and it's not there. And she well, I kind of noticed that, and I for years thought that it was something there. And what happened was in the comic book, in the DC adaptation which I had, she's wearing a mask before she speaks, and then she takes it off. So of course, once again, your memories get mixed up. So in your head, oh yeah, I remember that bit when she took the mask. And it wasn't.
Okay, well, moving on to Star Trek 4 now, which Colin Ives told me to say it was the People's Star Trek movie, Star Trek 4 The Voyage Home. It's the one that kind of...
Yeah, it's the one that up until the J.J. Abrams first J.J. Abrams movie,
Yeah.
this was the Star Trek movie
That
for
everybody
people
said.
for people who have no interest in Star Trek.
And it is
And I
basically-
think it was only because they came to planet Earth. Or
San
something.
And it was the fourth, it was the fourth
So
film
like,
as well. That was
before it went all
and it had built up as well as an audience, and about like 86 and stuff. And it was, but it's kind of like the Beverly Hills Fish Out of the Water, Beverly Hills Cop kind of thing,
But they've been there. It's really
He went back in time though too.
They went back to
But
Yeah,
it's to do
86,
with. I think it's more to do with the tone and the entertaining tone of it, and although it has funny moments and it has thrilling moments, but it has, I don't know. There were episodes back in the old show that were slightly more light-hearted, that were really kind of just fun, and this is without doubt
This was
easily the
fun.
most fun.
Yeah, it was
episode.
definitely fun. But what I liked about it was it's like because when we had those episodes in the '60s when they were like gangsters and
PC action.
and all that. But the thing about this one was what was great about it was like you could really see that they are, even though they look like people we grew up with, they are aliens. Like the way they communicated with everything, you could really get the sense that they were from the future. So like when I said that before about like Scotty trying to talk to the computer, right? Even though we can't talk to the computers now, it was like they were so far advanced that they were in a place that they had no idea what was going on.
The McCoy in hospital scene is another example.
Oh, this is archaic. This is barbaric, man.
It's just not
What are you
understanding the
doing?
comprehension of it.
I know that was great.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I was at a medical convention where they had the needle pens, now and stuff. But yeah, I mean, all the adventures. I mean, because I think we should talk about the adventures of Star Trek because like the first phone, the communicator and all of that other kind of stuff. This movie had it all.
Discs,
and it was a way of looking at that. How backwards we were, and they were in our time. Looking at it.
There's one thing though. There's one area that Star Trek has definitely failed us in terms of its predicting things. Although, like you mentioned, we have the mobile phones are essentially the communicators now. Blah 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 blah.
Tablets.
There's one thing. There's one thing though that they've let us down. We still don't have automatic doors that go.
We did that at the same time.
Exactly. So until that happens,
We don't have
no
no Jeffrey tubes. We don't have no transporters. But I'm pretty sure it's been invented.
I mean, to be fair, I'm more disappointed about the lack of transport technology.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you want to go with the
I'm with McCoy on the transporter. I'll walk the long way round. Is what I'm saying. No. We'll take your entire body apart and reassemble. It'll be fine.
Whoops, a fly got into the thing there. It looked like Jeff
It's
Goldblum.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Just remember what happened to Commander Sonak. That's
Well,
all
no,
I
I
can
mean,
Yeah.
go
So
into the science behind
Star
it.
Trek 4, of course, didn't have a clear-cut villain.
It had a cigarette. in
It had a
space.
problem. It had a problem.
Cigar in
It had a
space.
problem that had to be dealt with, as
Yeah.
opposed to a villain. And once again, not every episode had a villain.
No.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Also, let's say that just like Wrath of Khan was Space Seed, this one was the Doomsday Machine.
Yeah.
So if you remember the Doomsday Machine, that's what this was. Like this kind of like rock or cigar, whatever, that could destroy the world. And it, of course, was up to Kirk and his band, the Renegades, to like save the
Save
future.
the day. They just happened to be
by
the other side of the
slingshotting
fence.
around the
But it's
sun,
happening,
and
Yeah, I get that. I mean,
I think we can do it.
one thing actually Star Trek always likes to pride itself is it kind of works in science fact, but I still haven't quite worked out this slingshot around the sun business.
Yeah.
And
But the thing is, it makes more sense because at the time, Superman had been out. And I mean, it
And
makes
explain
more
the
sense
revolutionary theory.
to flip because the idea behind it is basically they go faster than the speed of light by actually using the gravity of the sun to propel their ship beyond the speed of light, henceforth creating going back in time. And that's the thing.
It's called
it's
it's
This
called
is the part, by the way,
tachyons.
where we cut to these
Called
scenes of Homer
tachyons.
Simpson shouting out,
well, it's better than
Yeah, I get it. I mean, once again, though, if you could say it in a serious face, you can convince anybody. You know what I mean? But getting back, I mean, I bought it at the time. I bought it. I was what, 6? I was 17 or whatever when it came out. I thought, yeah, okay, fine, I get it. But I mean, it's just so much fun. You know, it really is, and it comes along, and it's.
I think Spock is the way that they use Spock in throughout that entire movie as the comedy foil to almost everything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Kirk.
like when he's panicking.
Kirk has his interest in. He likes his history. Kirk.
Yeah.
He actually knows about
Yeah.
that kind of time. knows nothing about time travel, about that whole, oh, that's a good thing, he'll give it me again. He won't give it, you know, the whole watch thing in the pawn shop thing makes no sense.
Well, no, but it's also completely glossed over, which is great. You don't dwell on it, you poof, move on. You know.
But it's like the double dumbass. The
Double dumbass, fuck you.
Oh, there's no like this, and it's the way Spock is interacting. He just jumps in a thing of whales and sort of like communicates. It's like
my favourite gag.
Here, Captain.
My favourite gag is right near the end when they're kind of they're building up speed to go around the sun again, and Kirk goes, "We're like, where the hell's my warp engines?" And he goes, "1 damn minute, Captain." Because he just doesn't quite know how it fits in or whatever. But,
okay, well,
so one really irk. Here's my irk, and I know probably chairs will start flying in a minute, but I actually fast forward February 1987. It's the Academy Awards, and Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home is up for Best Visual Effects, and it loses against Aliens. At the time, what really annoyed me was the fact that the island's effects for the whales were so good that people didn't realise.
You thought they were real whales? Yeah.
And that always, because I actually felt the visual effects on a whole were better than the ones in Aliens. Because Aliens, I felt at the time, as good and creative as they were, and I know it's, it's a lot of fantasy too and whatnot, and eventually what will become digital domain works on it, blah blah blah. But a lot of it looked very Thunderbirdsy. And that's not to take anything away from it.
David Lane worked, didn't he?
What are you trying to say? Aliens are Thunderbirdsy?
No, the actual I'm talking effect shots.
When that ship's coming in.
When the ship's coming in, and when right at the end when you got like the towers collapsing and she gets on it and this
and then when it picks up.
Yeah, well, no, I just you kind of get a real sense of and I just said anyway. Push comes to shove, I just felt the overall the effects in Star Trek 4 were better. Were better, but I think they were too good to the point where people didn't even realize those whales.
That's a good point. Well, it's like Superman the movie just got lost the art direction Academy Award to California Suite, which was a recreation of hotels.
Yeah, I know, but that's
just ridiculous.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Historically,
but like I like the shot where they came back to their planet and stuff like that, and they were under the bridge, and that whole sequence when they were outside on the boat in the water looked like it was all outtake footage, them just having fun.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I'm not getting back in this water, so just keep the camera
we
going.
are gonna
Because it looked like they pulled like somebody in or whatever.
With the exception of Never Say Never Again, and it also has one of the best how did they keep a toupee on underwater sequences ever. Shatner's wig.
That's not a wig. It's not a wig.
A life of its own.
Plugs.
This tribble that lives on his head is just how. It's just words fail me. They really do. Just to describe the cinema. I sat there in the cinema going,
I never noticed. I don't know what this is.
It is Shatner. People who managed to keep his toupee on. As those films progressed, the people who kept the wig on, the people who kept the makeup on to make him keep looking at least fairly young, the ones who could still fit Scotty into his uniform, everyone in that production team was earning their money.
The girdle budget alone.
Was just and they needed like 5 people on each side.
Denny Crane let himself go.
Okay, Bill, we're all ready for you now.
Well, talking about girdle budget, that brings us just right up to 1989 and Star Trek 5 and Final Frontier. Of course,
which I think was theological.
I think you're right, Colonel. But what was your opinions? When did you?
Wait. I need my pen.
Well, here's the thing. Star Trek 5 is full of good ideas.
Yep.
It's full of good ideas.
Anti-gravity boots.
It comes down to execution and circumstance.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm gonna fly like the rat.
I think. And also, it suffered for when it came out as well, because Paramount got greedy and decided to bump it up. We'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. But the actual film itself, it has a great opening. Yeah. That sequence on Nimbus 3. Cyborg and the bald guy and whatnot. It's all there.
Cyborg was a good character.
Cyborg was a great character.
Cyborg was wrote for sure.
I love the powers.
I love
it's because his name was Cyborg.
Powers he had.
My name's Shybox.
I love how he manipulated minds and everything, which was really cool. and stuff, and that's my favorite line
But the thing is,
about Kirk talking about he didn't want to give up his pain because it makes him who he is. To me, that's has such emotional resonance for me, as that was the makeup of a man. That was really good. And the battle with God or the ego living planet, whatever it is, and stuff was also just equally fantastic. I thought that was all good. I know people hated the movie, but I did think it was good.
I don't think it's a bad movie. You got to remember, coming off the back of 2, 3, and 4, 4 being at the time the most financially successful of the entire series, and it's a great movie. But this is a major. It's not even a case of, well, I liked it, but it wasn't as good as 4. No, this is a huge.
Well, this was Kirk saying, look, guys, you gave him, right? You gave him.
But it's not even a case of
2 chances.
I actually got no problem with Shatner's direction. Once again, I think it's down to execution and circumstance. You've got a studio who have, for some reason or other, decided they've got little faith in the project, in a product that's made them so much money over the whatever years. And then, and I know like ILM were busy at the time as well, and hence they couldn't get those back. And you had even the second biggest effects houses were not even, so they ended up using like a 3rd tier effects house, and whatnot, and it shows. It really shows. There's some
I
great
still
shots
think
in it.
that
there are a
there's-
lot of like, oh really?
I still think they're the same people who worked on the other movies. You have to blame the director at some point.
Well, it's not so much. I think his hands are tied. I think. Okay. Fundamentally,
He said
fundamentally
it,
a
but-
director is responsible for what you see on that screen, because as they should be.
As
But
they
at the
should.
same time, his or her job isn't made any easier when you've got a studio saying no to things or they're slashing budgets.
Well, I did hear you talked about it. I did hear that they cut some of the ideas.
The
So what
Rockman
was that?
sequence. Now, the Rockman sequence is fantastic.
So what sequence?
There was a Rockman sequence. It's a deleted scene.
Yeah.
That after Kirk, so Spock and McCoy beam off the God planet, and Kirk's on his own. Kirk's running to find a space so he can be beamed up, but these rock creatures appear. And whatnot.
Like in Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Exactly as in Galaxy Quest. But they said that they could only afford to build one suit, and Shatner said, okay, what we can do is we'll cut around it, we'll make it look like there's loads of them, blah 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 blah. But they worked out that the suit budget alone for a deleted scene, and it's a great suit, but it cost about 100,000. Easy 100,000, and it's completely wasted. And they cut the whole scene. But that wouldn't have made the movie any better per se. It wouldn't have saved the film.
He also had the problem of Roddenberry was on the phone constantly saying, you've got to stop them doing this. So there's people at Paramount saying, we don't want to piss Gene off like that. And Roddenberry was upset because he wanted to make Final Frontier as Star Trek motion picture, essentially, where they go and they think they found God, they've actually found the devil.
Yeah.
And it came back, and his ego was like, how could Bill do this and all that? Shatner said he didn't know
it
about
was his
it.
idea,
Yeah.
you're saying. It was Roddenberry's original
It was
idea.
his
Well,
idea.
there was an idea. Roddenberry had an idea for a pilot for the Phase 2 series that actually wasn't going to be the pilot initially. But one of his ideas was to think of the God complex, and and he'd been pushing this since the '60s. The idea of they come face to face with what they think might be God.
Kind of like the Olympus Adonis episode.
Yeah. Well, but even more, much more on the nose. Though. This is God, or whatever. And then you find out that it's not. It's blah blah blah. But cut long story short, at the time they paid Roddenberry lip service. They just kept to appease him because essentially they didn't want him going public and bad mouthing Star Trek as a whole, because he knew that might damage this, that, and the other. But he had actually zero control over anything. I mean, it's long gone. They just said, yeah, you can have a production credit, blah, 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 blah. You'll get your money, blah, 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 and it will look good, But fundamentally, it's got a great score. Jerry, they brought Jerry back for the score, which is one of the film's
Yeah, it's the same
saving graces.
So the worst thing for me is the ending scene where they're at the campfire singing "Row, row, row your boat."
Well, I have no problem with that.
That's the only scene that I actually remember fondly. I'm not a big fan of this movie. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's the worst movie out of all of them. There was nothing about
No.
No, I mean,
Not for me anyway.
no, I mean, there's out of the original
not saying
six.
anything like
Out of the
Shatner's
original
bad, I'm
six, it's the worst movie.
It's not
But
even
for
that
me,
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
there was just nothing in it that kind of like I
Yeah.
went to.
Okay.
Kirk didn't really throw me at any point in time. He just kind of looked like.
There's some great one-liners. There are some really good,
But I like
good
the
lines in it. Spock, be a one with a horse.
I actually liked that bit. I like the whole idea of them taking Spock camping. I think it's, maybe
The
it's,
idea is
maybe
nice,
it's the Britishness they carry on camping and
Yeah.
like
I like the idea that they were doing the scene with Cyborg's horse and it was a unicorn and Roddenberry had someone turn up and remove the horn off the horse's head because
Why,
like,
because it was too horny?
this is fantasy we're straying into now, not
Oh,
science
yeah.
fiction.
but her doing a fan
Exactly.
dance.
I was kind of either hoping or slightly dreading that someone would mention that.
Oh god.
It just doesn't work. It really doesn't. It goes. I mean, they try also pay lip service to the other members of the crew or the main crew by giving these little moments. And unlike say in Star Trek 3, where they've actually got something meaty to do, it's kind of like, oh, here they are, and they're doing this little
We're
bit
just
here.
brainwashing you.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
It could have been worse though. It could have been Sulu doing a fan dance. You know what I mean? Which would have been.
Man like BD1
Is
too.
it-
Oh my.
Was it
Yeah.
just me, or was there a clear implication that Scotty and Uhura were
Yeah.
getting it on?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
but it went nowhere. It went
But,
absolutely
yeah,
nowhere.
but I just kind of like it's the
Probably went
worst.
further than her and Kirk.
It is the worst kind of possible. If I wanted to last longer when I'm with my wife, I'd use that as a mental image.
Thank you for sharing.
Find
I'll try that now when I get a wife.
Yeah. All right. So
Anyway,
anyway, last
so,
film, man.
last
We're
film.
probably
But
running out of
so
time.
I did mention before about the fact that it was released at the wrong time. It was released right. I was in the States at the time. The height of the summer of '89,
So
which was at
Batman.
the time was the biggest. I mean, there was literally a major release every weekend for like a 6 or 7 week period.
Do the right thing.
From yeah, that was right. That was the summer of Batman.
Oh,
Yeah, Batman. You had
Batman.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You had Lethal Weapon 2.
License to Kill with that.
License to Kill. License
Right
to Kill was also the other casualty in the,
Yeah.
for that summer as well.
Yeah.
And it just Star Trek movies traditionally came out late summer or in the winter time as well, where there's a bit more breathing space.
Why was there a 3-year break? Because the other films been was it the writers' strike that happened?
Yeah.
So therefore it was a
The
casualty.
writer's strike of '88
Yeah.
did knock things back as well, but also they wanted to capitalise more on 6 being out. 6 came out at the end of '86, so by the time its final theatrical release worldwide, you're looking at maybe the Easter of '87. So it's a little bit fast, bit faster, really, because prior to that it was a 2 year. Well, no, so I'm like from Star Trek 2, it'd been a 2 year release gap between the three. But I think there's that. Then you had the writer's strike of '88, which did affect a lot of projects as well. Wouldn't be the last one,
Right.
sadly. But yeah.
So
move on.
Okay, well, so Star Trek 5 was at the time thought to end the franchise, but they come back in 1991 with Nicholas Meyer from
There was
Rocket Company.
there was always going to be a Star Trek.
I was always going to be a Star Trek 6, but I mean, critics thought, oh, well, this was it.
Yeah,
now.
but how long was Next Generation on the air now?
By that time,
5 years, I think.
in 1889, it's been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Oh, only 2 years.
Only
Yeah,
2
started
years.
in
And
18.
that was also, they felt a lot of the time, a lot of people felt that, well, why would they go and see Star Trek at the movies? We're going to stay home
When
and
it's
watch
on.
Yeah.
So Star
it.
Trek.
It did actually hurt the movie,
Yeah.
Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country in 1991, a return to form, and the last hurrah.
Yeah, it's one
It
of
was
those
a murder
things.
mystery.
It's one of those things that the success of that movie, really, I think, a lot like Skyfall with James Bond, which was built on not just the fact that it's a great movie, it's a movie, it's got the movie coming out, but it's on the back of the 50th anniversary, but this was the 25th anniversary of Star Trek, and there was a massive push in the media across the board. I remember that very clearly. There was like a big box set come out, blah, 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 blah. There was great documentaries out, and this, that, and the other. So there was a lot of kind of the reminiscent vibe going on there about Star Trek in general. But it's just a better movie. It's
that's
one of my
it.
absolute favourites. It's my
I love it,
my
yeah.
top 3.
Now, was Kim Cattrall Savick again? Or
No.
So she was just
She's
different.
not
right?
Originally, it was going to be Savick.
Originally, we could be
But
Savick,
Leonard
but
Nimoy got in the plotting stage. Leonard Nimoy got cold feet and felt that Savick was actually she wouldn't
A
do
bit of a
that.
fan favourite.
Yeah, she
Uh,
wouldn't
Yeah.
do that. She wouldn't do that.
so there just happened to be another
Just letting you know
female.
it's 7:05.
Oh, really?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we can come back to the.
But let's just finish.
Okay,
let's go.
Because we're just
So anyway,
Do we know the background story though between? Because Star Trek 6 originally started off as something quite different, yet strangely familiar.
Also, the battery
It was
light is
good.
flashing, so.
Okay, it was going to be a prequel. It was going to be the Spock and Kirk, the early years. And they basically felt, but Paramount said, no, we need to go on the goodwill of the 25th anniversary, and that was the biggest one, and whatnot. And so they put that on the shelf for a couple of years.
See, Star Trek 6 is my favourite of the
Right.
original 6. It had everything, it was hit at the right time. time, 91, I was 11 years old. I was 9, 10 years old when it came out. When I saw it, I was almost 11, 12. So I had that. It had, that drama behind it. Great villains. The guys who they were playing were villains. You had the murder mystery kind of aspect, which I love. I love kind of like puzzle solving and that kind of thing. And there wasn't anything really previously in the Star Trek films that had that kind of mystery.
No. It was the first time.
And then you had the, do you want to come and perform surgery on a torpedo, Doctor? There was some great little lines, and the shoes fit. There was some great elements to it.
Oh, sorry, Jim.
Hey, wait a minute. Was the OJ trial out?
No, it was 1995.
95 for the trial.
Yeah, I think OJ was still driving his van.
Okay,
But yeah.
I like the political allegory that the Berlin Wall comes down and out of space.
Yeah, so they had to have a detente.
Yeah.
And Peter Cushing, wasn't it?
It was David Warner.
Christopher Plummer. And Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
I always Christopher Plummer and Peter Cushing always get mixed up. Christopher Plummer, I mean, excellent. You got Romulan L, you got Klingons, you got these dirty dealings behind the scenes. Who done it? Really
You've got
great.
things that in the Next Generation they established and brought into the movie universe to build up.
It's
on.
the why. It's the why.
Yeah.
How. It's the why and the how we got there. A couple of years after we see that things are better. But we never knew why and or how, I should say, and that's got to that point.
Most confusing double casting Michael Dorn. For years as a kid, I was.
It's his grandfather. It's his grandfather.
I know, but in my head, I was like, there was no internet. I couldn't research it. So in my head, I was like, how was Worf defending Kirk?
We really liked you as Worf. David Warner was in 5, and then he was in 6 playing different characters.
And then played a Cardassian in a Next Gen episode. There's always one thing though in 6 that it kind of like I hate with all my heart. There's one thing.
1 second, 5 minutes.
Okay, one thing I hate, and it's right at the end. It's when they're going to save the Chancellor, and Shatner has to have his moment, and he leaps in the air like ridiculously, like all of a sudden he has the power of flight, and kind of clotheslines the Chancellor down. To
Whoa! Again, it was everybody had a role.
He goes, Kirk, Enterprise. And you think,
don't forget, everybody had a role. Like Sulu had to pull his gun down on the.
But also, that's a movie where a director's cut I think does the film a disservice. The director's cut of that, the 2 sequences that they added in for the DVD release and whatnot, they're not very good. And it all of a sudden becomes Scooby-Doo. They take the mask off. He's a human after all. And it's like, that's not clear blood.
It's the director's cut like 4 different ones. He's human, no, he's Romulan, no, he's
that would have been
Oh man, Willikers! I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you old pesky kids.
Just have the balls to do it. Come on. Just go with your convictions. I mean, And
well, no. I think they were giving you different choices of which is going to work, what's going to be more satisfying.
But no, the point of it is like even in the mind meld sequence with Valaris, it's like you get like it's just telegraphing it for the audience. It's like we worked it out. We got it. It's like you don't need to hammer it home. That sort of filmmaking, that sort of storytelling, that always bugs me. It's like treat me with intelligence, please. We have worked it out. Okay.
Thanks, Merv. Yeah. Okay.
Rant.
That's fine. Okay, I think we should. We've lived long and prospered on this hour long broadcast.
Live long and prosper.
I wrote down.